I really think the pain is the resistance of it. So that pain is there to show us, hey, you're resisting right now.
He says not every day he wants to get up and make the music. Not every day he gets up and wants to do this, but he faces it. He conquers it.
That's the way confidence is built. That's the way trust is built in any relationship.
This comes back to these natural human emotions and experiences that we all have, which includes the fear, the pain, and there's pain either way, no matter what way we go in life. So we can either have the pain and shame and guilt of not facing the pain and shame and guilt, and that leads to not going to the gym. What that creates is a nice big belly. It creates creates an unabundance in wealth and vitality and energy in these things. Or when the pain comes up and I don't feel like doing this, you say, well, I'll make that trade. I'll just go and face it right now and then have the rest of your day with a little dopamine rush from the workout that you did, or the sound that we figured out, or the podcast that now we get to sit down and have this freaking energizing conversation that's going to create this incredible wave of energy through the rest of the day for us, for viewers that are listening to it. And that's been created from repetitively facing fears, facing a little bit of pain. And as we face it, the pain kind of goes down. It's you just get through it. And it's not terrible.
I really think the pain is the resistance of it. Because once I do it, there's no pain in that. I mean, it's like now we're sitting here, it's easy, right? The pain comes when it's like, oh, should I do this? The second there's any of that right, wrong resistance, that's the pain. So that pain is there to show us, hey, you're resisting right now. Okay, do you choose to continue going deeper and deeper into this pain and misery? Or do you just choose to walk forward anyways? And that's what it is. The
resistance, the pain is in us thinking about it. Oh, I don't want to do it, whatever. I was listening to a podcast with J. Cole recently. So J. Cole has become, I just started listening to him. As I've gotten into rapping, I started listening to him. He's become a big inspiration of mine with the messaging and what he talks about in his rap music. But he was talking about facing, he's creating this amazing music, this beautiful music. But he says not every day he wants to get up and make the music. Not every day he gets up and wants to do this. But he faces it. He conquers it. He gets in and he does what he's committed himself to doing. And when he gets in it, he finds the joy in it. He finds the passion. And that comes back to what I was saying, is finding the things that we choose yes to. Because if we're so disciplined and there's a no, and there's a no reason and then a fucking no purpose to it, when we're doing those activities, if there's nothing there, it's going to be a bit more difficult to find the things that we love in it, right? But with this, for example, for me, dude, we get to sit down and have this conversation. Dude, if I didn't feel like having this conversation today, I sure as hell would be finding beauty in it and enjoyment in it right now. And same thing across the board, because there's these elements of creativity, of beauty, and I'm following my inner yes. I'm following my guidance, and it's telling me, Evan, yes. Evan, continuously telling me, Evan, yes. So it's just really cool. And so for people listening, I just say, hey, go and do things you say yes to, right? And forget what the rest of the world says. If you want to teach kids, teach kids. You want to go volunteer doing something, volunteer doing something. Whatever you want to do, whatever's fine, you find joy and passion in. You don't need to make this huge commitment, this huge crazy thing about it. Maybe start with something just small. Maybe start with, hey, like I did a summer camp. I was how I got into a lot of this, I was feeling pretty uninspired in work and in real estate, as we had mentioned. I was just so focused on that. And I was like, you know what? I love hanging out with kids. I love playing with kids. It's fun. It's fulfilling. It's just joyful. So I went and started volunteering at a kid's summer camp once a week. Made the commitment, hey, I'll do it once a week. So go find something, art, creativity, photography, social media, nature walks, whatever. But find something you love for the sheer love of doing it. Make a little tiny commitment on it to start, because it takes a little bit to, I feel like it takes, builds reps. So don't set some fucking pie in the sky thing where you gotta like it's just that where it's a daunting task. But I say pick a yes and just start doing little things. Start a one small commitment where you build confidence. You're like, you know what, I can do it, and build on that. Have you had experience with that? Like starting small and building? Like what's your thought process on that?
Yeah. That's how everything starts, right? I mean, that's the way confidence is built. That's the way trust is built in any relationship. Like, if I'm going to go into a business partnership with someone, all right, let's take it slow. Let's go step by step. Let's agree to meet at a certain time and keep that agreement. Let's agree to do another thing and keep that agreement. Okay, and then from there we start to build trust and build confidence in each other. But, it's not about just jumping in and trying to have it all figured out up front. In any task I do, in any endeavor I move forward on, or in any part of my life I'm choosing to improve in, I take it step by step. It's like what we said about before with the yeses and the nos, right? Oh, I have a yes for this. Do what's in front of me right now. I don't need to know what's going to be after that, but I have a yes for this. So do what's in front of me right now. Trust. Even if I feel a little scared, even if I feel a little bit of resistance, if I have a yes for it, do it. And then as soon as I do it, guess what happens? The next thing happens, and the next thing happens, and the next thing unfolds, and the next thing unfolds. That's what trust is. As I walk forward in the path, the next step of the path unfolds for me. But I can't see the next step until I take this step. One step at a time, man. It's funny, if we look at like a staircase, I may be able to see the step all the way on the top. Like if we look at the step all the way on the top of the ladder, on the top of the staircase, that's my vision. That's where like I see myself. I could see it, but I can't step on that thing until I step on the first one. I could see where I'm going to end up, kind of like see the picture, but the only way I can get to it and actually experience it is when I first experience the first step. And that first step may be making that phone call, having that conversation you don't want to have, going to the gym when you don't want to.
Here, what's a big choice that you've been toying with currently that maybe now is the time to make a choice?
Choose to know, man. I feel like I'm doing so many new things right now that I'm really focused on the new things I'm doing. What comes is, like in the coaching modality I'm in, a desire I've had for a while is to lead my own classes for young adults and teenagers. Like that's a huge desire. So taking some sort of action directly correlated to that is probably my next thing for sure. Making my videos, doing all these new things is me becoming the character to do that too. Like it's all correlated to that as well, of like leading classes for young adults. But yeah, some sort of action step directly leading to that is my next step that I've definitely had resistance to. And I choose to know what it even is that like will require it. But so far that's a vision I have for myself, and doing all these other things I had resistance to doing is a part of me becoming the person that will lead those classes. So, yeah, going and talking with girls, going and interviewing people, and just doing things like out of the familiar zone, because there's a lot of, like, for example, with the girl thing, there's a lot of young men that are very, feel shy, and they're looking to shift it into confidence. So first it starts with me. So what can I do to really build confidence, to build trust within myself, and starting to take those action steps. But yeah, definitely, if there's something in my mind that I choose to step into, is leading my own classes, man. Like seeing myself in this chair, 15 kids, young men, young adults, young women around me, and I'm leading a class on mindset, spirituality, personal growth. That's one of the next steps for me, for sure.